Hello and welcome to the episode. I'm Sarah Leather and thrilled to be here with you. And the topic for today is the best offers to sell this year. I had a client say to me the other day, she's a new client, and she was saying, as she was signing up, she was saying, like, are people still buying coaching? She's been a coach for a while, but she can see all the online noise and all the talk about how there's so many online coaching businesses closing down and all the talk. And I wanted to talk about that today and talk about like my thoughts around what kind of offers are really working right now. And the answer to the question of are people still buying coaching is a resound yes. Yes, they are. They are buying coaching. It's like there is, I'm not going to say there's nothing broken in the online coaching world. There certainly are lots of, what's the word for it? I'd say some challenging areas. And I think what's happened is that during the time when there was a real boom in an online coaching space during the pandemic, and when so many people took businesses online, when there were so many new businesses and people were popping up all over the place saying they're making, a million in a month and all sorts of crazy talk of success. And there were a lot of businesses that did appear to pop up overnight. Normally, when you look behind the scenes of most businesses, they actually have been doing other things and doing maybe running some different type of business, or they've been established in some other way, and they're not as new as they may appear. But there were definitely several cases that I saw of very new businesses that were built on a very flimsy foundation of just getting really good at making social media posts and very compelling offers and selling a lot of people very quickly. And it's a bit like a stack of cards. Like one strong puff of wind comes along and it's all falls apart. And there have been cases of that going on. And some people who have closed down their businesses, and I have spoken to some of them, and some of them were just, it was always going to happen anyway. They've just come to the end of their path and their time in running that kind of business, and they were moving on to something else. And it's but on the whole, I think that there has never been a better time to be a coach. And by coach, I'm talking about coaching, mentoring, even consulting. I know they're all different things, and a lot of us do a mixture of all of those things. I know I certainly do. Within the space of one coaching session, I can be a coach, I can be a mentor, I can be a consultant or advisor, I may teach something, and I think that's all good. That's all good. The reason why I think there's never been a better time to be a coach and to sell coaching is that people are craving connection. People are really craving more, more, yeah, connection is the best word, relationships with real people, particularly in this world of like a lot of political unstableness and the emergence of AI and all sorts of just very quick changes, even though most things have been there for a very long time. AI certainly has been around for a long time, and but it has been very recent that we've seen such big changes in people being able to create copy and create photographs and create all sorts of things. So there have been a lot of shifts. But coaching is still really quite a new industry. Like I often say to my kids and people who are younger that like when I was their age, my job now, the work that I do now, didn't exist. I did quite a lot of sort of personal growth kind of stuff in my 20s, my mid 20s, up until the time I had my first child at 28. He's now 30, he's 30, he's turning 31 this year. And it's it in those days that was kind of what coaching was kind of personal growth work and personal development work. When I came across coaching and did my first coaching certification in 2008, I thought, oh, this feels like what that did then, but it was just had a job, a job description wrapped around it. And I was training to be someone that helped people in these areas. And it, so that isn't very long. It's not a very long period of time. It's still a very emerging industry. And as I said, I don't think there's ever been a better time to be a coach. And the if a business is built quickly on a flimsy foundation, yeah, it's probably not going to last that long, or it's going to have a lot of problems, like a house built on with very shaky foundations. But for most people doing their work in the world, it's a great time to grow a coaching business. It really is, because people are wanting that sort of level of help. I mean, I bet if you went and surveyed a large audience of people you know that are just doing normal jobs in the world, what their opinion of coaching is, and they'll probably talk about sports coaches and coaching that sort of has been around for a very, very long time. But when it comes to life coaching, business coaching, parent coaching, relationship coaching, career coaching, sobriety coaching, all of the coaching, it is a very new industry, a very, very new industry. So the problem I see with most coaches that I know is that they are immersed in communities that are mostly coaches, and they do all of their marketing and all of their activities in an arena with lots of other coaches. So they think then that it's a really saturated marketplace. And it's not. Believe me, it is not. And that's why it's often quite a good idea to get outside of your industry, to go to maybe different industry kind of events, or to be in networking groups where there's like only maybe 5% of the people there are coaches, and all the rest are doing all sorts of other things in the world. And when I look even at my client base, a lot of my clients are accountants and lawyers and all sorts of different online consultants or in-person consultants in corporations. And yes, there's a lot that are coaches, but there's a lot that aren't as well. And they are doing lots of other work in the world that is different to coaching. So, and it's really quite refreshing, really, to get out of and be among people who are doing different things in the world. So if you are feeling like it's all saturated and there's too many coaches there, I'd challenge you to just like maybe put yourself in some different environments. And I know, like, if I go and meet when I go back to Australia and I meet my nursing friends from when I was a student nurse in the 80s, and when I meet them, like, they're really curious about the work that I'm doing, and like it's so outside of what they are exposed to as far as work goes on a day-to-day basis. And most people that I know outside of my business have no idea what I do. I have zero idea what I actually do in my work, because coaching is still very new and a lot of people are not that familiar with it. So it is about growing those connections with people who have problems. People have more problems than ever. Coaching can solve a lot of problems, not all of them. And there are times when somebody may need like a therapist or a psychologist or somebody else to help them with their problems. Absolutely, there's a line, and it's very important that every coach knows where that line is and what they can help with and what they can't. But most people could really benefit from having a coach through pretty much all stages of their life. I mean, no professional sports person would ever think of doing their profession without having a coach. And I really do believe that's going to become more and more of a thing as the coaching industry continues to grow. So yeah, I often say, like, get out with the muggles, get out with the people that are not in our in our magical world of coaching. Get out there to other people that just really don't have any idea, and let them know that You have solutions to problems. It's just about making connections, building those relationships, and inviting people to take the next step with you. It's not like you're going walking up and down the main street of where you live and asking people to pay you money, but it's about growing those connections and relationships and letting people know that you can actually help with that. And it really is actually very simple to grow a coaching business, but so many people make it incredibly complicated. People have problems, you have solutions. Make sure people know that's basically the foundation of marketing, is letting people know that you can help. And then there's the messaging part of marketing, which is the bit that gets people moving. And that's the bit that I love helping my clients with. And that it is like the bit that actually gets people's attention, stops the scroll and gets them moving and holding their hand up to your masterclass or your workshop or whatever it is that you're offering, and then maybe inviting them onto a call from there and inviting them to work with you from there. It can be very, very simple to move people from being complete strangers on the internet to being paying clients. Um, but you want to be, you just want to be very clear on how you can help people. And you can do that through your marketing and through telling stories and showing stories of what clients have achieved. Like, I'm celebrating one of my clients this week doing her first masterclass, and she had a nice number of people attend live, and nearly everyone that attended live has booked a call with her. And then she'll make invitations to her one-on-one work from those calls. And like, it really can be quite simple to move people along and make invitations to work with you. But it's showing the value. So if I share her story, people can see like, oh, I helped her to create her first masterclass and to know how to offer, make an offer from that masterclass. And because what most people do is just tear through it, tear through the pitch part of the masterclass and rush through it and then wonder why they don't have clients afterwards. And it's just like knowing how to do these things. So I bring that into my marketing of showing how I have clients that I've taught them to do this and this. Or I might do posts around like, if you work with me one-on-one, the very first thing we do, the first phase of working together is looking for how can we leverage what's already going on and get your next 3 clients fast. And then from there, we'll look at the foundations and look at the client journey with you and make the changes, simplify what needs simplifying before we amplify your income, or you amplify your income as you go along. And the very first stage is really just getting very clear on like, where is the money kind of sitting on the table in front of you that you're not seeing at the moment? Where are those relationships you've already got that you could invite to the next step with you? And like, people need to see that. They need to see that you have an idea, or you know how to solve a problem, the problem that they've got. And just having a very simple system to sell that moves people along. So some people do it purely all from their content on social media or from sending out emails, or maybe from my podcast like this. But most people need a simple system to sell that moves people from where they originally see or hear about you along to having a conversation with you or even chatting with you in the DMs, and then you make your invitation and they say yes or no. And it really is about keeping it as simple as possible, keeping it as simple as possible. So the best offers to sell right now are the simple ones, And that's what I'm really seeing in the online coaching industry. That is, the simpler somebody's business is, the more sustainable it is and the more likely it is to grow. It's been in some of the very large coaching containers where people have maybe not got what they thought they were going to get when they signed up. And it's maybe they've made sort of multiple 5-figure investments and they haven't had any access to the actual person that they signed up with. And those kind of very large businesses that have a massive outlay in team running everything, and very often doing a lot of paid advertising as well to bring everybody in, and maybe paid sales teams as well. There are some of those businesses that are having some problems, and the from what I'm hearing on the ground is that they are having to massively simplify their businesses, massively simplify, and really go back to a far more connection based business model. And so that people have the connections that they really desire, rather than just paying to be in a group of people who are making a lot of money and hoping that that will kind of rub off due to osmosis of just being in the group. That's not enough. People need what they came for. They need what has been promised from a program, and it's up to the person who's like making the money from it to actually deliver on that. And so there certainly have been some trust issues in the online coaching industry in the last year or two, and it really does come down to people delivering what they have promised and helping people get results. So the best offers to sell are the ones that help your clients get the best results in a time frame that is good for them. Nobody can promise any results. Nobody can say, like, work with me for this amount of time and this will happen. No one can do that. But your job is to deliver on what you promised, and your client's job is to lean in and meet you like halfway, that you're both meeting there for the results to happen. And it really is the best offers are the ones that get your clients the best results. And this is why, like, I have, and so have a lot of other online coaches, have gone back to doing more one-on-one work or bringing more one-on-one work into groups. And I really like, whether you like working one-on-one or like working in group programs, what's the best for your client as well. It's got to be best for you and best for your client. I think my favorite business model really is more of a hybrid group, where hybrid in that, yes, there's a group there with content and where you put your trainings and your masterclasses and your courses or whatever you create for your clients, that they can access that. I think it's great to have a group that people can connect with each other. It's really inspiring when someone goes in and celebrates, getting new clients or ask questions that other people have as well. I think a group is a great idea for a lot of clients. But I also think some level of access to the person who is running the business is great as well. And it really is, I mean, that's what they're paying for. I really like a really simple offer model where basically people are, like that you're running sort of like one core offer, but maybe there's a couple of different levels, 2, maximum 3 different levels of it, depending on access to you. But one offer is absolutely fine, but if you want to have a couple of different price points to suit different stages on people's journey, it really that can really help, so that you're not just marketing to one. It is always good to market to one person with one problem. I'm always saying that. But if like some people feel like, oh, well, I want to help people at this stage and at this stage, and that's absolutely great. Let's look at your offers and see what suits what person. And the more that you can have your offer or offers set up to meet the same person, the same type of person, the same problem at maybe different stages of their journey. So when they are sort of like further ahead, well, then you've got a sort of maybe an offer that's at a higher price point with higher, maybe more access to you, or that it's got sort of content or courses or something that's going to help them as they proceed along the way with you. So the best offers, I keep saying it, to sell right now are the ones that are going to help your clients get the best results and that you love to deliver as well. And yeah, people are buying coaching left, right, and center, but to solve their problems. And they are, because of the some of the problems that have been happening. I think the word to describe what's been going on is discernment. I think people have become more discerning about where they spend their money, and they want to know that there isn't that sort of flimsy lack of foundation, that they're that, like that you know you've got a solid offer that is going to help them with their problem. Um, the your business model. I mentioned business models a minute ago. Business model, the way that you work with your clients, the way that you have your office set up, doesn't have to be the traditional way of doing it. Of the traditional business model is called an ascension business model, where someone buys at a low price and then they buy a slightly higher price and a slightly higher price. So maybe they buy a low ticket sort of masterclass or workshop or mini course, something like that, and then they buy a more substantial course from you. So the first one might be like $50, and their more substantial course at like somewhere $500 or $1,000, and then they buy maybe a 3-month package with you, and then they buy a 12-month mastermind with you. And that's kind of the traditional model. And you do not have to have a business set up like that. You can have purely one-on-one work. You can have one 3-month one-on-one package, and that's it. You can have, I've known people that have sell single sessions at a reasonable price, and that's all they do. They just let people have access to their calendar and book sessions, and they know they have a maximum amount each week they can do, and they hit the income goals from it because they are selling those. Now, that's an effortful business model for most people. Some people can do it if the price point is right. There's no wrong offer. There's no wrong way to set up your offers, but it's just got to meet your income goals, meet the deliverables for the client, and you need to be able to enjoy it. And the simpler the better. The simpler the better. So it doesn't have to be the traditional low, mid, high VIP price points all the way through. You can have I love a low, high ticket business model where you have low ticket stuff that's really high value. And I have several offers like that are at maybe €22, €55, €77. Some of them are 111 or 222. And then from there, they may then reach out to me about working with me at a higher price point, in either one-on-one work or in one of my sort of hybrid groups as well. So it can look any way that you want, but you ask yourself, what is the best for my clients to help them to get the best results, and what's the best for me too? What really is the way that really lights you up, feels simple, and feels sustainable to you as well. So some people love one-on-one work, and some people don't love one-on-one work. Some people love group work, and some people do not love group work. So you'll know when you look back at the way that you've worked with clients in the past, you'll know which ones work for you the best. I like to look at, and I do this with my clients quite often, to look at over the last 12 months, write down any offers you've sold, and then put next to each of those offers, how much money have they brought in? Put down the number that each offer has brought in over the last 12 months. And then put a number next to it about how much you love it. Give it a score out of 10, 0 being absolutely hate delivering it, and 10 out of 10 being absolutely love delivering it. And then look at those numbers, look at the money it's brought in and your lovability of that offer. And like really sit there with those numbers. Sit there with those numbers and see what comes up for you. Because every single time I do this, the same thing comes up. The same thing comes up. And and it will be a higher ticket group program, like my inner circle, my mastermind level, is what brings in 80% of my income, and is where the place where I just love doing that work. I mean, I love all of my work. If you know me, you know I'm obsessed with my work, with my business, and I love it all. I love every single one of my clients so much. And but it is that level of work where I really flourish. I really thrive there. So I want you to look at your business and see, do those numbers and sit back and look at those and go like, oh. I mean, you can add in other things about like when it came to marketing and selling it, like what, how much time and energy went into that. Because when some people look at those numbers, they're really low, and some people it will be a low ticket thing. I've got plenty of clients, and I've been through phases where I've sold a lot more low ticket in my business. I did it a few months ago, and I love that. I love that. And particularly if you've got times in your life where you've got big other things going on. For me, it was the time that my mum got sick very quickly and passed away, and I loved then the fact that I was making sales most days and I wasn't having to really show up, and my low ticket things were selling really well, and I love that. And I love my clients that really want that kind of business model. I love helping them do that as well, because that really lights them up, that they can create things and sell them and get on with other things they want to be doing, and that's all good. And for me, it was a little bit of an experiment as well. And it's really interesting now to look at that and just go like, okay, well, I had to make this many sales to make the same amount of money of having one client over here. And, when I look at like what gets the clients the very best results, I know it's when they have more access to me and they have access to my brain, because I love solving problems for my clients. So it's yeah, it's really, really fascinating to look at those numbers and see, okay, what is the business model that suits me the best? Because it gets my clients great results. I feel great about it, and it brings in the most money with the most ease into my business. So to wrap up, the best offers to sell this year are those ones that get your clients the best results, that you love to deliver, that bring in probably 80% of your income as well with the most ease. And it really is, you lean into that, lean into building relationships, building connections, making invitations to work with you, and you really, really can't go wrong in this interesting time of online business, online coaching, online coaching. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this. So feel free to reach out to me on any of my social media platforms. Feel free to send me a direct message. I'm very friendly. I'm not going to I'm not going to I would love to hear from you. Really, really love to hear from you. And I would also say, if you feel drawn to having a conversation with me around where you're at in your business right now, what's working for you, what's not working for you, and we'll have a look at your plans, and I'll help you to create a plan for the next few months in your business. I'll pop the link here for a free 20-minute call with me, and I'll have a chat. And if there's some way that I can help you with that, I will let you know about that. But I just love having these conversations with women who are growing their service-based business, whether you're a coach, consultant, a mentor, a teacher, whatever shape your business takes. I would love to speak with you. So, and I'll be back with you very, very soon. Bye for now.